Find the idea. RxD7 plus works only if one defender is overloaded. What would you play? Now rewind. Robert James Fischer has white against Stephans in USA Op. The point is not to memorize moves. In this episode, track the quiet mystery. The natural answer, the piece with too many jobs, and the square that proves the tactic was prepared. If a move does not change one of those things, we move quickly. If it does, we stop and turn it into a question you can use at the board. First quiet clue. This move earns its screen time by changing the open file before the forcing line appears. This is the first real clue. Now 3. CXD4 is the next pressure test after 2. And F3. Second exchange, not just points. One guard leaves, and the bishop route around move 3 becomes easier to see. The previous checkpoint, 2. And F3, changed the defender map before 3. CXD4. 3. CXD4 sets up the next question at 4. NXD4. Pause here. What square became harder to defend after 3? CXD4? Third trade with a price tag. If the defender recaptures or ignores it, ask where the king can still breathe. The board is already drifting from 4. NXD4 toward 12. NXC6. Fourth visible prize, hidden access. After 12. NXC6, the loose defender is easier to use. Look back one checkpoint. 4. NXD4 made the position fragile enough for 12. NXC6. Fifth defender count changes. A safe-looking position turns into a trap when the forced reply has no spare helper. That is why 14. NXF6 is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 12. QXC6. Sixth greed warning. The capture looks local, but it changes the pawn shield near the king. A quiet detail from 12. QXC6 is still hanging in the air when 14. NXF6 arrives. Seventh timing question. If the defender spends this move on survival, which square became a highway? 16. BXG7 plus sets up the next question at 18. X5. Eighth defender audit. If one defender is gone and another is pinned to king safety, what disappears after the exchange? 16. BXG7 plus is the clue that makes 18. X5 less random. Ninth capture, defender removed. Material matters, but the real point is the queen access that opens after the capture. The previous checkpoint, 18. X5, changed the defender map before 18. RxF5. This is the bridge to 19. QXD6, where the defender has fewer choices. 10th exchange, not just points. One guard leaves, and the rank switch around move 19 becomes easier to see. 19. QXD6 does not appear from nowhere. 18. RxF5 already shifted the pressure. That is why 19. H5 is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 19. QXD6. The board gets less comfortable for the defender. The knight or bishop coordination is becoming harder to ignore after this move. Look back one checkpoint. 19. QXD6 made the position fragile enough for 19. H5. Pause here, what line open because 19. H5 forced the issue. 12th initiative in plain sight. The reveal detail matters because the shrinking route still needs an answer. 20. QE7 plus sets up the next question at 20. RF7. A small improvement can be a big warning. If the opponent treats the rook entry as harmless, the next forcing move lands harder. A quiet detail from 20. QE7 plus is still hanging in the air when 20. RF7 arrives. 14th timing question. If the defender spends this move on survival, which diagonal lost protection? This is the bridge to 21. KXF7, where the defender has fewer choices. 15th open door. Once that defender disappears, the escape square has fewer obstacles. That is why 22. N5 plus is not just notation. It is a new problem created by 21. KXF7. 16th forcing checkpoint. Counterplay pauses while we inspect the overload. Which piece has two jobs? The previous checkpoint, 21. KXF7. changed the defender map before 22. n5 plus. Now 22. q7 is the next pressure test after 22. n5 plus. Pause here. Did 22. n5 plus change material, tempo, or access first? No fireworks yet, but the trap is getting organized around move 22. Watch the tempo race. Who has to answer first? 22. q7 sets up the next question at 23. nxc6 plus. 18th king safety audit. If the reply damages the pawn shield, the next tactic gets easier. Look back one checkpoint. 22. q7 made the position fragile enough for 23. nxc6 plus. The board is already drifting from 23. nxc6 plus toward 24. bd7. This is how initiative grows before the punchline. The move does not win immediately, but it changes the central square. This is the bridge to 25. rxd7 plus, where the defender has fewer choices. 20th collapse warning. The check forces a reply while the trade choice stays weak. A quiet detail from 24. bd7 is still hanging in the air when 25. rxd7 plus arrives. Pause here. What square became harder to defend after 25? rxd7 plus? The lesson from Fischer-Stephans' hidden queen trap is concrete. The final tactic works because the earlier moves changed the defender map. In the My Chess Coach lesson, replay the quiet mystery positions, solve the puzzles, and name the clue before the payoff. The candidate move, the overloaded piece, or the square that changed. Then run the same checklist in your own game before you grab material or defend automatically. That turns this finish into a pattern you can recognize in real positions, not just a highlight you admire once.